and instead put their energy and efforts toward a more meaningful intention, such as movement, rest, and a deeper connection with self. Her entire product is rooted in intention, movement, community, and beliefs. Katie has a passion for bringing awareness to the toxic expectations placed on people in the fitness industry and believes that if we all unsubscribe to those messages, we can pave a new path that's rooted in self-acceptance, care, and kindness.
Daniel, you're a much better reader of bios than I am.
Am I? Well, it's easy when it's right in front of me. So I'm excited.
And I stumble through all these bios all the time.
Well, I'm excited to hear this interview between you and Katie.
You know, first of all, I am in love with what she does. And this whole website she created is incredible. She's such a talented young woman. And just in speaking to her and what her mission and why and what she's trying to accomplish, it really blew me away, by the way.
Yeah.
You know what else blows me away?
What blows you away?
The fact that thieving squirrels can get into my birdseed. You laugh.
That's
that
funny.
Squirrel mocks me. There's a squirrel that's been thieving my birdseed. And I came outside the other day and stumbled upon the bag of birdseed being opened and exploded all over the patio.
Well, you know, it's nature outsmarting the humans.
Okay. So then I thought I was going to be smarter and I put it in a Tupperware container. And then I put a planter over the Tupperware container.
Yeah. And I saw you do it. And remember I said, oh, that's going to fall over.
No. It was twice. The first planter I put on, figure, okay, it's just a little thing, whatever. Nope. Knocked it down and broke it.
Squirrels are smart.
The second thing I put was a big planter about this big. And Dan said, it's going to knock it over.
You know why squirrels are so smart?
Why?
Because they have to be. Because they're also very forgetful.
Oh.
Because squirrels have to squirrel away.
Do you think I'm a squirrel?
They have to squirrel away a lot of nuts and a lot of seeds. Because 90% of the nuts they collect, they forgot where they put it.
Do you think I'm a squirrel?
I'm saying 90%. I don't know the actual percentage, but it's pretty high. They never find those nuts.
Keep avoiding the question.
Are you a squirrel?
Because, I forget where I put stuff and I'm smart.
But this is actually validation. You are actually easily distracted by squirrels, and you are actually this week getting distracted by an actual squirrel.
I know. It's been, it's been actually the big theme of the week. And I've had a lot of stuff going on this week.
But yes, I did understand your analogy, because you put things in safe spots and then you have no idea where that safe spot is. So yes, you are a squirrel.
Oh, look at that.
I got you.
You got me. And by the way, so after I put this big planter, but that's full of dirt, by the way, on top of this little tiny Tupperware thing, knocked it off.
Yeah.
So then I went and I put the bird seed away in the, what is that thing called? The dormer thing? I don't know.
The hatchway? The dormer?
That hatchway, whatever.
Yeah, it's a dormer.
So I put it in there.
The basement
and
door.
I thought, okay, I'm just going to, they can't open the door. So you know what the squirrel did? It started to climb onto the hook where my bird feeder is and was dangling from there. And as I came out in the morning to let the dogs out, it was mocking me.
There are squirrel-proof bird feeders.
Yeah, I know. I went to get dog food today, and that's why it took me so long. I normally don't take that long.
You got distracted at the tractor supply store?
I got distracted at the tractor supply store because, and by the way, it's not like my kind of store where I don't really shop, but I went looking for a squirrel-proof bird feeder. And you know what? I walked away because I'm not paying $30 for that. You're laughing. And then what was the first thought that came to mind?
Those poor birds.
Dan.
What are they going to do without you?
You know what came to mind?
What?
Dan can bill me this.
I knew that came to mind. I have to go look at it.
Hey, what are you drinking?
Something. I'm drinking Fabuloso coffee.
I I made excellent coffee today, by the way.
It was very good.
Very, very good.
Anyway, so
wait,
this is the thing. We're starting the podcast today, but for those who are listening to the podcast, you should pay attention on Sunday mornings because this part we're actually recording live.
it's a live broadcast.
So we just have a live feed. If you where do they have to follow you to see it come live?
It's on Facebook. If you just follow Facebook.
Live.
By the way, we have one viewer, but I can't tell who the viewer is. What are the chances that it's your sister?
It could be.
It could be Donna. Donna,
It's possible.
I hope it's you because you are our fan and we love you. And by the way, we pulled the trigger. I told your nephew to pull the trigger on the gathering that we are going to Maine for a wedding
in Maine in June. So we were looking for accommodations, but we were looking for accommodations and everything's booked up. Then I realized the date is essentially it's the week before July 4th weekend. So
but it's the middle of the week.
Middle of the week on July 4th weekend, though. A lot of people rent entire homes like Airbnbs and stuff. Like, remember when we used to go up with the Rouses up to New Hampshire? We were there for the entire week, July 4th. And then
that's true. That's true.
So it's a big deal in New Hampshire and Maine, Vermont, those areas near lakes. Those places book up.
I want to make it a bigger adventure than just overnight, though.
Okay.
So we need to talk. I don't know. We need to talk about that. Maybe we'll find like some camping situation.
Would you like to walk up Mount Monadnock on the way home?
Well, I guess that would be an adventure. Sure.
Do something like that.
Sure. Can we have an adventure that includes water also?
Water?
Yeah. Like paddling on a board.
Well, I got my water bottle.
Oh, okay. That's
paddling.
Not the kind of adventure I was thinking. But okay. So back to the squirrel, by the way, I just want to finish this conversation. So as I was leaving Tractor Supply, I noticed a bag and I thought, oh, is that bird seed? It's kind of funky looking bird seed. No, it's squirrel food. And then I was like, oh, am I supposed to be feeding the squirrel too?
Got to feed them separately, I guess, away from the bird.
You know, it's good. They're going to eat us out of house and home if we start feeding every type of wildlife. Because then they had bird food, and then they had squirrel food, and they had rabbit food, and they had horse food. And I just kept thinking, where am I?
What kind of food?
Horse.
Oh, horse.
But then I thought, no, I would rather support the community and not just the wildlife in my neighborhood.
All right. How are you going to do that?
Well, I'm a part of the Women United, and a lot of the work that we do is to help Alice families. And by the way, our annual meeting for Women United was this week, and I attended, and it was so great to see my friends and colleagues in person. And I am excited because someone's adjusting my mic. Okay. My, one of the things that the United Way is doing is that they're releasing the Alice report. And if you don't know what Alice is, this is a term that it's coined by the United Way, but I am definitely sure that people in your neck of the woods fall within this framework of ALICE, which is asset limited income constrained by employed. Did you know that in Connecticut, a family, how much do you think a family needs to make hourly in order to be able to take care of their basic needs? Housing, transportation, healthcare, childcare, food.
How much does a family?
How much does a person need to
year?
make? No, let's just talk
one
per hour.
One person.
Like a family. A family needs to make how much per hour to be able to have enough income to take care of their basic needs? What do you think that number is?
See, I would have an annual, not an hourly. But
well, come up with an hourly.
Come up with an hourly.
Like, think about how much is.
So if
is
it's one person, come up. But if there's two people, two adults, do you double that?
Sure.
So if there's two people, so yeah. So there's, I don't know, 25.
Try 45.
Okay.
In the state of Connecticut, people have to make $45 an hour to be able to have enough yearly income to be able to take care of the basic needs. We did a really
two adults making $22.50 an hour.
If that, yeah.
That's crazy. That's a big number,
That is a big number.
Because that's
So we did an exercise, and I've done this exercise before because I think that it really kind of drives the point home, right?
Mhm.
So the exercise is you get an envelope with a family name, right? And then you are the Wilson family, and it's a fictional, right? And then we talk about like the Wilson family has 2 kids. Mom works at a daycare center and wants to go back to college to get her bachelor's degree and be a nurse. Dad is a server, but he just got laid off. The kids are 4 and 9. So you're starting to think 4, not full-time schooling. And then you start to think 9 years old, they're in school, they're probably in 4th grade. And then they take you through like what their expenses are, how much they pay. Do they live in a 1-bedroom apartment for $900? Do they live in a 2-bedroom apartment for $1,600? Right.
Mm.
And how much do they pay in transportation? They pay $1,000 in daycare for the month. Do they pay for bus fare or for car insurance or for a car? So all of these expenses, do they pay for a phone bill? And this is where sometimes it becomes a luxury to have a phone and to pay for things. So
Right.
it's very eye-opening. And it reminded me that this is one of the reasons why I'm so committed to helping Women United and to being a part of the organization,
Mhm.
because the programs that Women United and the United Way funds are programs that are helping families right here in our community that have food insecurity. And it's helping them be able to get an arm up, a leg up, and then really make an impact in the community. So,
Oh, I forgot to tell you.
what did you forget to tell me?
I bid on a parking space at work.
Oh, you bid on a parking space at work?
Well, I did it last year, and there's certain parking spaces so you can have your own spot.
Don't you always park in your own spot?
Well, because I bid on one last year.
Oh, why did you bid on a parking space?
So I would have a home for my car at work. So if I had to leave work and come back, you'd go in that spot.
No one is taking your. Okay, gotcha. And what's the purpose of you bidding on a parking space?
Well, it's to raise. It's for charity.
Oh, very nice, Daniel.
And guess who the charity is again?
What is the charity?
It's the United Way.
Oh, good job, Dan.
So
Love you for that. Thank you.
Last year, our company our location did it to raise funds for the people in the Ukraine. But this year we're back to the United Way.
Amazing.
Which is our company has always been a huge partner with United Way. And that was, we were United Technologies. Now we're Raytheon Technologies.
Cool.
In Connecticut.
And
so that's where I work. That's my day job. So
that's your day job.
But yeah, if your company is looking for a charity to partner with, the United Way in Connecticut is a great partner, and a lot of the funds get to who needs those funds.
And by the way,
that's a big deal.
There's another thing that I did on Monday that I want to talk about. I was invited by my friend who is one of the ambassadors for the Bushnell, which is the theater company, the here in Connecticut, to go to a dinner, and they were previewing the shows for next year.
Really?
Yes. So, and I had we had one of the performers come and perform some of the songs from the show that is coming. That it's one of my favorite shows.
What show is it?
Wicked.
Oh, Wicked?
Popular.
Really? Of course, it's about
You're
witches.
gonna be popular. Are you saying I like witches?
Saying you like the Wicked Witches?
Really?
Based on the Wizard of Oz?
Yeah, but it's not just, it's about Galinda.
All right.
With a G.
Okay. So back in the 90s, I used to watch what show? Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Okay, thank you. I did not know that.
What show did you watch? On the same network.
What show did I watch?
3 sisters that were
Charmed. I used to watch Charmed.
And they were
witches. Wow, you're making this a lot about me liking witches. Not that there's anything wrong if you're a witch. I mean,
I don't know.
You know.
So
wow, Dan, you called me a heretic yesterday. Now
I did call you a heretic yesterday. Hilarious.
Order of witches. What are people gonna think now?
Oh my gosh, it's a long story of the heretic thing. It was
unbelievable. Okay, so by the way, we also had a great experience yesterday. If you have been tuning into the podcast about 3 weeks ago, we talked about our new friends who we met at a winery. And yesterday we went and met out with them again. And we met at a brewery.
Yes, Alvarium in hard-hitting New Britain, Connecticut.
And by the way, that might be my new favorite brewery, Alvarium.
Yeah, you liked it?
Nothing to dislike with their...
Every beer was great.
Every beer was fantastic. And that's why, in our new podcast, we're going to talk about that. And our friends, Allie and Chris, they taught us to play a game that we didn't know.
Yeah, a lot of people will be stunned that we don't know.
Okay, tell them what the name is.
We played bridge.
That wasn't bridge. Oh my God.
What was it then?
Quibbage.
Oh, cribbage.
Cribbage. I had to think
What's bridge?
Something else that you apparently played with somebody else in some alternative universe, apparently.
I guess bridge and cribbage are both games that like my parents' generation played a lot of back in the day. So I just associate them. We played cribbage.
And by the way, Allie and Chris are younger than we are.
Why does cribbage sound weird to me? It sounds like something Harry Potter would play. Oh, that's Quidditch.
Quidditch.
So anyway,
speaking of Harry Potter, you know what the Google Doodle for today is?
What is it?
The Google Doodle for today is featuring hold please while I tell you. It is the actor Alan Rickman, who was in Harry Potter, who is in Sense and Sensibility, and also in my favorite Christmas movie of all time, Love Actually.
He was in a lot of movies, and Alan Rickman, he left us
too soon,
a couple years ago.
And by the way, so I started to this kind of gave me the idea for my new blog on the Cool Life. The Cool Life is an incredible membership that I contribute to.
KUHL.
KUEL Life.
Oh, I was so close.
No H.
KUEL. Cool.
Friend of the show, Jack. She's the founder of that. And I wrote an article for them for the April edition called 5 Tips to Manage Your Business While Being a Caregiver. And this is from my own personal experience. And by the way, I don't have it all together and certainly not perfect by it because I'm lacking. Really? I'm lacking in some of this. I think in self-care, I'm really lacking. Although
yesterday was a good start.
What was yesterday?
We had a great time. We went out and we enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah, but I'm talking self-care when it comes to fitness, when it comes to health, and we're getting better.
I'm big on fitness, like fitting this hamburger in my mouth.
Wow, that's ridiculous. Most ridiculous thing.
Well, I don't have a burger in front of me. We actually had a good breakfast that you made for me this morning. It was very nice.
I know. I made a good breakfast. And in addition to a good breakfast, we had a good lunch. We had soup for lunch.
Yeah.
And
nice, healthy choices. And I thank you for it.
You're welcome, because we need to get in shape. And that's why I think, we need to. And by the way, this is going back to, yes. Oh, Dan cut his hair.
I cut my hair and I didn't cut it within an inch of its life.
Thank God.
It looks a little funny because it's like hat head with the headphones on. But
yeah.
So,
but
anyway, people in podcast land can't see that. It's
no, they can't see that. But go to the Facebook, go to JulieDeLucca-Collins.com, Facebook, and you can see the video.
You can see my haircut and all the gray hair I have in my beard.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to get you some of that Grecian formula.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So WeShape. This is why I like Katie Bramlett, our guest today. Okay. WeShape. Her goal is to help people for people to feel better in the body that they have, and not to make you feel like you need to be in somebody else's body and that you need to change your body. Because I think that the most important thing that we can do in the right here and the right now is really love and accept ourselves. And that is the first step in becoming, the best version of yourself. Sometimes we want to hate ourselves into being somebody else. We want to hate ourselves into losing weight, getting in shape, blah, 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 whatever. But we're just as perfect the way we are. And that's one of the things that I struggle with. So today I'm really excited to have this conversation with Katie. I am incredibly honored that she's here because she is a young founder. She is in Silicon Valley. She is working and creating capital, but more importantly, she's creating a tool for women. So please listen to this interview and make sure that you connect with Katie in all of the social medias. I'm going to put her information in the comments here and Facebook, but if you are anywhere else, please make sure that you give her some of the internet currency and love, and tell her you found her through Casa De Confidence.
And remember, unsubscribe from the fitness industry and enjoy this interview.
Bye, everybody. Don't forget, go confidently in the direction of your dreams.
Yes.